Welcome to show number 207 of the ARC Junkies Podcast. Today, I'm chatting with Staci Martinez about her journey into entrepreneurship and how she runs multiple businesses. Staci is one of the board members of the Hooded Heroes Foundation, which is an organization doing great work to help provide welding gear to students getting into welding. We'll hear from Staci in just a moment, right after a quick word from the supporters of the show. Today's episode of the ARC Junkies Podcast is brought to you by Rockmount Research and Alloys, makers of rods and wires specifically designed to meet the challenges of your toughest welding problems in the most unpredictable conditions. Rockmount helps you get the job done right the first time, every time. Got to weld an arm on an excavator in the middle of a mine? No problem. Rockmount has a wire for you. Cracked casting that keeps breaking? No problem. Rockmount has a rod for you. Welding unidentifiable dissimilar alloys? You guessed it, Rockmount has a rod for you. Or maybe you need to gouge on some material but don't have access to a compressor on your rig. They still got a rod for you. No matter what your issue, the fine folks at Rockmount have a solution. Go check them out on their website today at rockmountwelding.com and see what they have to help you on your toughest welding job. You can also give them a call at 1-800-272-7637 and they'll get you lined up with a solution that will weld stronger and last longer. We're also brought to you by Everlast Welders, machines built for the home hobbyist and the small business. As a small business owner myself, I choose Rockmount based on price and performance. Everlast has a machine for every budget and every skill level. Head on over to everlastwelders.com today and see what machine is right for you. They have a lot to choose from. Maybe you're in the market for a reliable stick and TIG welder, or maybe even a MIG welder to increase productivity in your shop. Perhaps what you really need is a multi-process welder, or maybe even a plasma cutter. They've got it all. And all the IGBT inverter machines from Everlast come with a 5-year warranty. Find out which machine is right for you today at everlastwelders.com, and don't forget to use ARC Junkies in the comment section at checkout when you buy any machine that comes with a stock foot pedal, and you'll get upgraded to a free Nova foot pedal and TIG torch, absolutely no cost to you. Everlast Welders. Weld mean, weld green. We're also brought to you by ISOTUNES. ISOTUNES are the next generation of hearing protection and by far my favorite piece of PPE. They're Bluetooth headphones that meet the requirements of OSHA and NIOSH to be used as hearing protection in the workplace. If you're not already using hearing protection, obviously you should be, and ISOTUNES makes hearing protection fun. Now you can listen to your favorite playlist or podcast without deteriorating your hearing. Check them out today at isotunes.com and use ARC Junkies 10 at checkout for $10 off your first pair. We're also brought to you by Lincoln Electric, and they're running a special promo for listeners to the ARC Junkies podcast. Right now, you can get 10% off welding machines and fume extractors and 20% off all gear and accessories when you go to store.lincolnelectric.com and use ARC Junkies 10 when you buy any welding machine or fume extractor, or ARC Junkies 20 when you buy any gear or accessories, to include welding hoods, jackets, gear bags, hand tools, etc. Take advantage of these awesome deals today. Maybe you've had your eye on the new 330 MPX. I know I have. Well, you can save 10% right now on a purchase of a new engine drive that's lighter, smaller, and quieter than any machine in its class. Or maybe it's time for a new hood, or maybe an upgrade to a PAPR system. Save 20% today on your purchases. Just go to store.lincolnelectric.com and use the appropriate discount code. All right, you know what time it is. Fire up your machine, drop your hood, and turn me up 5.
Listening to the ARC Junkies Podcast, helping you make every weld better than your last with each episode. And now your host, Jason Becker.
All right, Staci, thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
So tell me, typically, what is it? Because when we talked offline, you said you were like running multiple businesses. So what all do you do? I know you do like hardwood floors, you do some art stuff, but what else do you do?
I build custom-made furniture for a local home builder. I make handrails, just whatever. I make anything.
Okay. So what did you do prior to owning your own businesses?
I welded at a facility making snow throwers and just fans for heavy machinery or food truck fans, any kind of fan blower machines.
So just for like fume extraction or?
Multiple things, all kinds of different fans, like industrial. I'm not exactly sure what fan did exactly what, but we did quite a few. We were in an overflow plant, so we got a lot of different things in. So.
Okay. How'd you end up getting into that?
Well, I was inventory management and shipping and receiving at that company. So that's kind of the funny thing, is that's how I got into welding, with that company that I worked for. And I staged for welders. I pulled stuff off the trucks. I unloaded with forklift, loaded, stuff like that, put stuff up on the shelves. And my boss was like, hey, he's like, we're kind of short on welders. You want to learn? And I was like, hell no, I don't want to learn how to weld. That's kind of terrifying. He talked me into it, and I started welding for, I don't know, maybe, I don't even know how long it took me to actually get it, but he let me practice and do all kinds of small jobs until I actually got it. And then I was actually welding the fans, and yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun. So, I mean, did you find like a passion for it as you were like learning it once, because welding can kind of be intimidating up front, but like once you got into it, did you start to enjoy it?
Yeah, I did actually. I was scared at first, but once I learned how to do it, and I had a lot of support. So a lot of the bosses would come by and talk to me and teach me different ways. And, everybody has their own ways of doing everything. So I kind of got a lot of diversity there, do it this way or do it that way. So I don't know. I think it was the environment, kind of the way I learned. I liked it. Mm-hmm. So that's what brought the passion on for me.
And how long did you end up working there?
I worked there for 6 years and welding the last 2 years of it. And then I quit, and we started our own wood floor company. And I did that for 4 years. And then I started my own business, welding, again for the last 2 years. So.
Okay. And what type of stuff are you doing with your own welding business?
I make custom furniture, handrails. I fabricate just anything. If people come to me, they ask me if I can do it. If I feel comfortable enough, I'll do it.
Okay. So do you do
so pretty much anything?
You do repair work as well?
Yep. I've repaired quite a few things. People bring me their snow blowers or anything that's been rusted out, and I repair that. And I make metal sculptures. I did my first gnome. That one was pretty fun.
I seen that. That was pretty cool. Like, how'd you get into the business of making gnomes?
So the funny story about that is, a lady came to me and said she's been looking for a couple of years for somebody to make her a gnome that that has a functional backpack on it, so she can leave gift cards or movie tickets or whatever on somebody's porch in it. And then from there, they would give to somebody else and so on. He's called the Roman Gnome. So I wasn't exactly sure on how that was going to turn out, but I'm super proud of it. How many
did you just make the one so far? Or are you making more of them?
That's only one so far. Once I do something like that, I'll probably end up, I don't know, I don't like to do the same thing twice. So I might make something similar to it.
Yeah, it looked pretty neat. Like, I was watching the build process and stuff on your Instagram, your TikTok, like putting it together. And like, that's something that I wish I had more time for, was to like, I don't know, just kind of unpack my mind and cut loose in the garage and, do stuff like that.
I definitely enjoy it. So the wood floor company kind of stabilizes that and lets me have free time. I was side by side working with my husband, but the paperwork side of it got to be too much. But being at home, I had too much time. So doing the welding and things like that. And even when I don't have jobs, I'm able to bring out my creativity like that. So
that's the worst part. That's the worst part about running. Maybe you've got like a different scenario, but the worst part of running the business is all the damn paperwork that comes along with it.
I loathe it. I hate paperwork. I'm not an office person. I don't sit still for very long. So sitting at my desk trying to get all the estimates written up or filing the receipts and doing all that kind of stuff is not my favorite thing to do.
No, that's the worst part.
It's necessary, but not my favorite.
Yeah, it's definitely a necessary evil. I've got like I don't know what you call like a file hanger that holds, it's got like 5 different slots in it. And that's kind of how I keep track of all my receipts and invoices and estimates and all that stuff. And it's a pain in the ass. And like right now, my accountant called me the other day and she's like, hey, you got taxes that you need to pay from October. You might want to jump on that. And it's like, oh shit, like, oh yeah, I got to like collect all my receipts and stuff because I took the podcast and I made it into an LLC. It just made sense. Yep. So just trying to track expenses and income and all that other stuff that goes along with it, like to sit down and do my profit and loss reports. It's like, damn, there's got to be an easier way to do this without like having to pay somebody all the money that I'm, the little bit of money that I'm earning from doing this. I don't want to give it to somebody else just to take care of the paperwork.
Right. Don't pay anybody if you can do it yourself. That's the way I look at everything.
But it's the worst part about running a business is the damn paperwork. Like everything else I enjoy, like sitting down, doing the episodes or like being out in the garage, like fixing something or fabricating for somebody or like going off to a job site and doing like on-site installs and fabrication. Like I love that part. It's just like the taxes, the paperwork, the invoicing, the emails, the going back and forth with clients, customers on the phone. It's like, that's the part that sucks.
Yes. And scheduling and all that kind of stuff, or ordering. I do have to do a lot of ordering materials and supplies and all that kinds of stuff. And it's not my favorite thing to do, but keeps me busy. So
yeah. Now, do you like doing the hardwood floors and stuff like that too?
Yeah, I do. I really do. It's fun. I don't know. I like to work with my hands, and it's kind of an art form if you think about it. You can't just go and throw in the hardwood floor, or you're going into a 100-year-old floor that's never been restored before, and you're bringing it back to life. And that to me is fun.
Yeah. And you guys got like all kinds of equipment to go in there and like sand everything down and all that good stuff. Like what have you found is like the best method for stripping all that stuff down? Like what abrasives are you typically using on that?
Well, we try not to do too abrasive. We have this, if there's been some kind of mastic over the top, we have a plate that changes out in some of the machines, and it kind of looks funky. It's like flat, and it's got, looks like a bunch of razor blades on it, which it doesn't. You would think it would tear the shit out of the floor, but it doesn't. Mm-hmm. That kind of works well. Old school way used to be wax, and that is so hard to get off, but we come at it with like 30 grit, and we just kind of work our way up from there, like 5 different stages. And we have different machines that do different processes. So we'll try to get the first layer off with the bigger machine. With the Hummel, it's an 8-inch, and that usually gets the first layer off, and then we go over it with the edger and do all the sides. And just different, we do a couple different processes with each of those machines. So we'll do like 30 grit, 60 grit, whatever, 80, 120. Then we screen it.
Now, have you been able to like drum up work for your welding business by going in and doing hardwood floors and looking over and say, hey, it looks like you need some new rails out front, like I know somebody that can give you like an awesome price on the rails leading up to the house, or, going up the, up the stairs, or.
Yes. My husband likes to throw that one out there when people are talking about that, and he just says, oh, my wife does that. And they're like, you do that? I was like, yeah, I do that too. And I actually get a lot of my jobs on site doing floors and things like that. It's kind of weird. I don't like to just say it. I mean, something has to come up, otherwise I don't mention it. Mm-hmm. So
no, that makes sense. But I mean, like if you're,
or if they're on Facebook, if they found us on Facebook or Instagram, they're kind of meshed up a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, like I'll mention my Shield Maiden on our wood floor Instagram, and people will see that, and then they'll click on it, and then they'll know that way. But I usually don't just come out and say that I do stuff.
I gotcha. If you're doing like a lot of handrails and stuff like that, and guardrails, balconies, whatever, go check out SLC Salt City Steel on Instagram, because he's got a product called a Picket Master Pro, and it'll save you like ridiculous amounts of time. So it's just like a little tool, kind of like, I don't know, my mom gave me one as like a Christmas present one year to like hold all the hot pots and pans and stuff like that on the counter. But like you pull it and it expands. So like you set your picket distance and then you lock it down, and then it lays out every single picket for you. So it'll find like the left-hand side or the right-hand side or dead center of all the pickets. So instead of doing the math and like taking your pen or your square and your tape measure and your soapstone and like laying out like every 4 7/8 or 3 7/16 or whatever. It's just like a kind of like a diamond looking thing. You have to pull it up. It's pretty neat product, but it's going to save you so much time.
I probably won't remember the name of that place. You'll have to email me.
Hey, I'll shoot you a DM. But like I got one in, and then my buddy that I work with, he just got a rail job in. So I was like, oh, dude, try this out. And like, I haven't got it back, and he's had it for 3 months, but he's like cranking through all this stuff. So I'm going to tell him like, dude, you need to buy your own and give me mine back. But it's an awesome rule, tool.
Don't borrow tools.
Yeah. Well, no. So like what I tell people typically is, if you have to borrow it more than 3 times, you need to buy your own. So like when I'm on when I'm on a job site or when I'm working, with a crew, or, now that I'm like teaching welding and stuff like that, if I have a student, they'll borrow my stuff, because I bring in a lot of things that I got a whole gang box of tools at work. And if a student needs to borrow it more than 3 times, I won't let them borrow it on the 4th. Like, nope, you've used this 3 times. You need to go buy your own. And that was just something that I kind of picked up when I was, working with the old guys, with the iron workers. They were like, if you need this tool that often, you need to have your own. You just quit borrowing mine. So after 3 times, after the 3rd time, you're done. You go buy your own. And it's made sense. And I've kind of lived my life by that rule.
A thing I used to say when I worked at a shop, and I never liked to go use the shop tools. I like to have my own tools. Mm-hmm. So I had my toolbox full of, angled die grinders and stuff like that. And this guy next to me, he kept asking me to borrow my tools. And I'm just like, what if you break it? Or can you pay for this if you break it? And he said, yeah, I can. And then I said, well, then why can't you buy your own?
That's a good way to look at it.
So,
and like my dad, he was a mechanic.
He didn't really borrow much from me after that.
Yeah. My dad was a mechanic for like many years. And like he had stickers all over his toolbox, like, don't touch my tools. I don't loan out my tools. Like, same thing. So like I kind of grew up with that mentality. But I've always lived by, like, if you need it more than 3 times, you have to buy your own. It's something that you're going to use, quite often. Just bite the bullet, go buy it.
Yeah, it's a great rule.
So tell me a little bit about your Hooded Heroes work, because I actually, after I had Hooded Heroes on, I think it was probably about a month ago, I had a young man reach out that he had heard about Hooded Heroes on the podcast, and he reached out to y'all, and I can't remember his name. I was trying to find it before the show, but it's like buried in the DM somewhere. But he was able to get a pack, to go to school, like hood, jacket, all the tools and stuff that he needed for going into welding school. So how did you get involved with the Hooded Heroes?
So Joey Crusoe is Mullet Welders. Mm-hmm. I followed him, and him and Kate had this idea because Joey is a welding instructor. He seems to come across a lot of kids that don't have money for PPE, and they aren't getting it from school. And he was talking about it on his page, and he needed a crew, I guess, thrown together, and he asked. So, and I was like, yeah, definitely. Giving back in that way for me I feel like it's important to give back, especially, when they're asking for a hand up and not a handout type of situation, that I'm going to jump all over that.
Yeah. And it falls right in line with like borrowing tools. Cause if you're getting into welding school, not every welding school has all of your PPE and your gear, included in the bill. Like when I went to welding school back when I was in high school, like I showed up the first day and they're like, okay, you're going to need a hood. And I was like, yeah. Okay. I need a hood. And they're like, that'll be $25. Oh shit. Okay. And well, then you're going to need leathers. That's $35. And then you're going to need a pair of gloves. That's $15. You're going to need a soapstone holder and like everything. So like, just, luckily I was able to afford that because I was working at the time, but like, I mean, there went all my money. But like, you know, for the students that can't, you know, that they don't have access to income, their parents can't afford it. I think something like the Hooded Heroes being around, having that as an option, you know, is going to help out a lot of different students around the entire U.S.
That's our plan, and we love the idea. And I think the kid that you're just talking about, he was one of our first ones.
Oh, nice.
The kid that reached out to you, so he was really awesome too. I think he even went above and beyond his 200 to 500 word essay to us. So
that's a good way to do it. So how do you guys do it? Because everybody kind of lives in a different state. Like I know you guys have Jason Sasaki's out there with you, and I think he's working in Wyoming, but he lives in Arkansas. You're in South Dakota. You got people everywhere. Like, how are you guys communicating? Just via email?
We do Zoom meetings. Like if something comes up and we need to take a vote or we need to talk about paperwork or anything like that, we usually set up a time that works for everybody and we have a Zoom call.
Yeah, there's more of that damn paperwork.
Really it is. And then on top of it, I'm the secretary of the Hooded Heroes, so I do.
Oh, that is the
one paperwork.
That is the one job that, like, no matter what I get involved in, everybody's like, yeah, we need a treasurer and a secretary. And I just kind of look down at the floor like, yeah, don't know. Somebody's going to volunteer or somebody's going to get picked, but I'm not going to make eye contact with who's asking right now.
Right. And my end of it is not that bad. I mean, Katie and Joey, they do a lot of that paperwork, and I do, like, if we do Zoom calls, I have to put in like who's saying what and put all that together and email it to everybody just so we have it for whatever reason.
Okay.
You know, all that's like super technical, so you have to document everything.
Yeah, everything's got to be, like, all the T's got to be crossed, all the I's have to be dotted. The you can record Zoom sessions and stuff like that, so if you have to go back through and take notes later or figure out exactly what somebody said, you can always go back and, like, use that as a reference. And as soon as you get done with the Zoom call, as soon as you get done with the Zoom call, they'll email you a copy of the transcript because they'll actually transcribe it for you, and then they'll send you the audio and video version as well.
Done. Good to know.
Yeah. So, like, use that. I mean, because, like, at certain points, like when you're especially when you're running a nonprofit, all that is considered like an auditable item with the IRS and all that stuff, like all your meetings and everything, who attended, like all that stuff has to be laid out. That's why you're supposed to use like Robert's Rules of Order and like all that stuff and make motions and all that happy horse shit. Like, at least that way you've got everything, documented. And then if you needed to later on, you'd have like video evidence of everything that went through. So it's just another way to take notes as a secretary.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, just not something I would do. I can't do secretary and treasurer. Like, no. I'll run pretty much anything other than that.
I don't mind it. It's for a good cause, so
yeah,
I'll volunteer my time for that any day.
So have you guys been picking up like a lot of momentum and a lot of steam with the Hooded Heroes Foundation?
Not a lot. We do fundraisers and things like that. People will donate items that we auction off, or people there. I think we've been getting a lot of inquiries on how people can help. So right now we're just in need of stuff for packages to send out to students.
Okay.
So like hoods, I don't know, gift cards, anything that has to do with like a starter kit. So grinders, hoods, gloves. I can't think of anything. Maybe gift cards for some boots.
So what's the best place? I know we touched on it during the Hooded Heroes episode, but if people wanted to reach out and send stuff and donate, like, do you guys have like a good address to send everything to, or who should they contact initially to set that up?
You can contact any one of us. If you go to thehoodedheroes.org, it has all of our information on there. I'm not sure if it has an address, but if you reach out to anybody with the Hooded Heroes, we can get it to you that way. Okay.
And then how many students have you guys helped so far? Just one?
We've had a few come in, but this is the only one that we've actually followed through with. we all kind of take a vote and see if we feel like they're being genuine or if they really need it. So this is like for people that are really in need.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to be fair that way.
Yeah. I serve on a scholarship committee too. And sometimes you gotta separate like who really wants to be there and who really just wants free money or free gear. And it's like, it's kind of it's a catch-22 to be in, like you want to help, you don't want to hinder anybody, but you kind of have to filter out a lot of the BS to find out who really needs the help and make sure that, who's most deserving is the one that receives it. That's the hard part. Yeah,
it is hard. I mean, because it's got to go through all 9 or 10 of us. There's usually 9 or 10 of us on board all the time. So, I mean, that's a lot of opinions. And so it's got to make it through at least over half.
Yeah. So what do you guys have coming up as far as like for like new things for 2022 for the Hooded Heroes Foundation?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. We're just trying to take it one day at a time and try to spread the word for right now because we're fairly new. I just said yesterday that we've been doing this for a year now. So we're pretty fresh. Yeah,
it's still relatively very new as far as like a nonprofit. Like the crew collab that I'm working with, we're still pushing things through, trying to get people, set up and in place. And then like, people make commitments and then they fall off or, like just trying to set everything up, get the vision, kind of moving along. That's the hard part. It's a slow, steady process.
It is. And you gotta, with this kind of stuff, you gotta build trust with today's society. Somebody thinks, oh, a nonprofit and what's their intentions? And are they scammers or, that I'm sure that crosses a lot of people's minds, so we're trying to get a positive note out there. Yes, we're real. Yes, we really do help people. And it's not a joke and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the big thing with today's society, especially like, being able to communicate via social media and email and all that stuff is like, there's still good people out there. There's still people that want to do good just for the sake of doing good things, that don't want anything in return, that aren't trying to scam you out of your money and your product and stuff like that. And it's just, it blows my mind that, well, number one, that like so many people fall for it. Like as soon as you try to do a giveaway, there's like a fake Instagram, that pops up that's like the official ambassador of the giveaway, and then they're like scamming people out of money.
Yes.
And
I see that a lot.
It blows my mind that people still fall for it. And it's like, if that's not the account that's running, just because that account has the same logo, doesn't mean that, they're official. Like, look at the follower count, reach out to them, DM them. If it sounds, if they're not speaking plain English, if it looks broken up and like, dear sir, ma'am, like, that's a red flag right there. Don't send them your credit card information. Don't send them a gift card. Don't send them any gear. Don't give them anything,
I know. Them pages, if you're following a giveaway of any kind, there is going to be people making a new account and say like, hey, you're a winner. It's always like that.
Yeah.
So if you're ever following it and somebody tries to follow you from that specific
same logo,
giveaway,
different name,
that's a giveaway. Yeah. Don't do it.
And it used to be like the elderly that we had to look out for, like, hey, grandma, no, don't respond to that email. There's not some African prince that's trying to leave you $30 million. Do not send him your debit card information. And, don't send him your bank account information. You don't know anybody over there. Don't do that. But it's like now you got to, like, talk to these kids that, like 16 to 25 that, that are falling for all these scams and stuff through the internet, via social media, just because of a damn giveaway. And it's like, damn, like, think about it. Think through some of this stuff. But I mean, there still is good people. And I know that there's a lot of apprehension out there for people that want to help. And they're like, I don't want to get scammed because some of these things are, like, it's too good to be true. But like what you guys are doing is, it's legit, trying to help students get into welding and make sure they have the appropriate PPE to start their class, safety glasses, welding hoods, jackets, like the whole 9 yards, to make sure that they start off with everything they need to get into welding. And it's like it's a very noble cause.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm not one to donate a lot of things and time to anything really. And I feel like this is like the perfect one for me. I feel like, I don't know, just giving back to kids that were like me when I was young. I didn't have a lot of anything. So giving back in that way kind of feels good.
Yeah.
And being genuine, Joey and Katie are pretty genuine people. So
we'll be right back after a quick word from the supporters of the show. This segment of the Arc Junkies podcast is brought to you by Strong Hand Tools, makers of heavy-duty fabrication tables, toggle clamps, and a plethora of other fabrication items to make your life as a welder and fabricator that much better. If you're a student and you want to get a free gift pack of some of their tools for your school, head on over to stronghandtools.com/ArcJunkies and register today. Now let's get back into the show.
No, I've talked to both of them. They seem like just awesome people, like salt of the earth, like good people, and like they've got great intentions, and like I couldn't imagine being in Joey's spot, because like I work down here in Florida, and like the college that I'm at, like pretty much like everything's included in the tuition. But like I couldn't imagine being in his spot and like seeing these kids come through and want to like reach in your own pocket and buy stuff and help them out and make sure that they have everything that they need. That would drive me up the freaking wall. Like not being able to help out every single kid. Like I want to help all the welders,
Me too.
But you can only hope, you can only help so many,
Right. So this is like the perfect thing for that. I'm super grateful he did it. I'm proud to be part of the Hooded Heroes Foundation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes when you guys are putting things together, and like you said, going through the different applications, keeping up with all the tax information and everything for the IRS, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes on.
There is a lot of background noise. There are a lot of us. Both the Joeys are the ones that actually do most of the paperwork and things like that. There's a couple of us that volunteered to make phone calls to the contacts. They have to have 3 references, and we volunteer to make those calls and talk to them and see their side of things. And so the work is split up, but Joey and Katie do a lot of the heavy liftings.
Okay. And then have you guys been able to get any companies on board or anything?
Yes, there were a few companies. I think Cayman Gloves, and there was safety glasses, and I can't even remember who it was. I don't get this stuff hands-on myself, so I tend to kind of forget who is all donated like that. But there are a few big ones that have donated and built our stash up. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I'd like to see more companies get on board, because like welding hoods, like to some of the bigger companies, they're like a dime a dozen. But that's like the number one tool that a welder is going to need, between that, jacket, and gloves. And obviously safety glasses, but I mean they're somewhat negligible, like $2-3 a pair. But like trying to find a sponsor for like hoods and jackets, there's got to be somebody out there that can like put that stuff out there.
Yeah, and the FR gear, that's like super important too. Mm-hmm. So jackets, anything like that. It would be nice to get a sponsor for that. Yeah. But for now, we hold raffles and try to build up funds that way, so we can at least get gift cards or whatever they need, or put their little packs together.
Okay, no, that's really cool. And then, so tell me about, because I know you have 3 kids. Are you getting them into welding? Do they help out with like the hardwood floor company? I mean, especially like now that it's Christmas, they're all on, winter break, and, you've got like break leading all the way into the new year. So what do you do with the kids during the day? You take them with you and let them get dirty and get down there and stay on the floors?
Well, they're a little bit older now, so they can stay home alone if they want to, but, the younger 2 are interested in what we do. The older one, not so much, and she's busy. She's 21, so she doesn't give a crap about that kind of labor. But the other 2, my youngest one, she's 11 and she's really into welding, and my 13-year-old is just now like, cause she's seen the Gnome and she's like, I really want to do that now. So I'll probably be teaching her how to weld here soon. And they do, like, when we need to, they've been on job sites with us, but they're mostly making messes and, being kids.
You gotta get them there and be like, no, you guys gotta clean the mess up, not make the mess.
Yeah, playing with the empty boxes. We do luxury vinyl tiles too, and it just comes with all this foam on the inside of the boxes, and they wrap them themselves in the foam like mummies, and play. Yeah. They like to play. They're still kids, so.
Check out the, I think American Welding Society did a bunch of videos during COVID with Stephanie Hoffman and her daughter. So they have, they've got a bunch of videos on their YouTube channel of like different art projects to make for entry-level welders.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check that out. That'll give you like some ideas of stuff to like build in the garage with them.
Well, my youngest one, Kendall, when I was teaching her, I actually need to get myself another hood so I can do it the right way. But she was just making little smiley faces and things like that on flat sheets of metal and things like that. But
yeah, it's good to get them started.
She enjoyed it.
Like I've got my son. I built like I did like these little cutout airplanes and stuff. So I let my son weld up some of those, and then like do some T-joints and stuff. Like I had some coupons laying around the garage, so we did a couple coupons. And I think this year I'm going to try and get my daughter to do some welding, because like she really wants to do it, and she's 9 now. So I think she's like at a good age where I can kind of sit down and show her how to do this stuff. And she like really takes a liking to all the hands-on type stuff that I do out in the garage. My son, not so much. I'm still trying to get like, come on, let's go to the garage and build something. No, yeah, I'm going to play on my Roblox. But my daughter, like, she's still at that age where she's like, yeah, okay, let's do this. Or like, let's build a Barbie house, or, bird house. Or we built like a mini picnic table for squirrels in the backyard. So you can put like peanuts in there. Like, so when they come down and eat the peanuts, it looks like they're hanging out at the picnic table. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cute. I feel like a lot of girls are seeing this type of hands-on work, and they're getting really interested in it. My girls are the younger ones, not so much the older one, but
yeah, we're getting a lot more females into the welding program where I'm at. Like, between the day and night class, we're getting a pretty heavy mix. I think last term we had, the term before we had, I think 6 females coming into the class, which is like, we usually have 1 female per class, and it was like 4 in one and 3 in the other. So I think we had like a total of 7. So I've noticed a lot more females are getting into the trades. A lot more females are getting into welding, and I think it's a good thing. And with
that's amazing.
With the welder shortage, I mean, yeah, bring it on. Like, why would you want to like segregate 50% of the population and say, no, we're doing okay. We're not. Like welding as a whole, like we need like some 450,000 people, and we're just not being able to fit that bill. We got to get more people into welding. We got to bring manufacturing back to the States. And, part of that process is going to be getting more and more people involved into hands-on skilled labor, whether it's welding, electrical, carpentry, whatever. Like, come in, we can bring everybody in. It's a viable career. And guess what? There's really no student, if you do it right, there's no student debt when you get done.
Right.
And you can make a damn good living doing it.
Joining the union, you do that. You go in as an apprentice, and they pay you to go to school.
Yeah, everything's paid for.
Right.
I think as an apprentice, I had to show. As an apprentice, I had to show my tools. So, but I mean, aside from that, and then like the welding portion was like year 4. For most people when you go through the hall, like at least with the ironworkers anyway, that was like your last year was welding. So you've got a good 3.5 years or 3 years to like start saving up to buy a hood, buy a jacket, or get it donated, or whatever the case may be. Like, have all your gear ready for day one. And I don't think that's too much to ask, going in, if they're going to pay 100% of your schooling and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's an amazing program. You're not left with any student debt, which is rare nowadays. I highly recommend trades to any of my oldest daughter's kids. I'm just like, hey, you don't have to go do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to get in debt like that. I mean, there's perfectly good trades out there, and you can be a carpenter, you can be a welder, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think there's just got to be more people pushing that careers, skilled trades as an avenue. So luckily I've worked with some people in a couple of the counties that are around our area, and the guidance counselors are like, oh yeah, you want to talk to our students about skilled trades? Like, come on, like we'll do Zoom meetings. You guys can come out here do demonstrations. We'll bring them out to the school. So it's been awesome, because I think that was like the untapped resources, because for so long you got like the older white-haired lady as the guidance counselor that's been doing the job for 25 years. And, she's on the verge of retirement. She really doesn't want to do anything other than continue to push college to everybody, because that's what she was told to do back in like 1986. So that's all she knows. Yeah. Now the people are there's a shift change. The guidance counselors are starting to say, hey, like college doesn't have to be plan A. Skilled trades can be your plan A, and it's, they're equal. You go off this way if you definitely wanted to get into college, or if you're not sure about college, if you don't think it's right for you, if you hate school right now, you're going to hate college even more. Maybe you should get into a skilled trades program, welding or plumbing or HVAC. Like the sky's the limit. Every industry right now is hurting. So get into a skilled trade and get, little to zero debt, and then come out and earn a skill that nobody can ever take away from you. And if you decide later on that college is the path that you want to go down, well, guess what? Now you can pay your own way through college. You don't have to take out the student loans, because that's the one loan you can't default on. You can't declare bankruptcy. You can't get away from it. Like, it's going to follow you to your grave, and then they'll just pass that debt on to, whoever your beneficiary is. Like, you can't escape student debt.
They get you for sure. That I recommend. I don't know. I recommend it to any kid I come across. Or there's a lot of kids that ask me, my kids' friends. I'm like, hey, you don't have to go to college to do get yourself in debt like that. You can definitely, like I said, the union. We recommend the union a lot because it's paid for. Mm-hmm. And my husband used to be in the union, and I was there too for a split second for like a couple of months in the summertime. I was an iron worker. But
oh, damn.
Yeah. So we recommended to most of the kids that were around.
Is the union pretty strong up in you're in South Dakota, right?
Yeah. Is
the union pretty strong up there?
Yeah. My oldest brother's a millwright. So that's how we learned about it. And my husband was, gosh, I can't remember what local it is, but he was building scaffold and water treatment plants and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Coal plants.
I noticed most like northern states and everything, they're kind of big on unions. Down here in Florida, it's not. Unions aren't really a big thing for a lot of people. It's not as strong as, you would find like New York, Chicago, all those, even like California, those areas. Unions, like, it's union or die in most of those places, but like down here, it's a happy mix, and then there's people that kind of understand the benefits. If the union's for you, then go that route. If it's not for you, hey, no harm, no foul. Like, go, non-union, no big deal. At the end of the day, everybody's like just trying to figure out what's the best way for me to feed and take care of my family and myself. Whatever that path is, go do that path, man. And don't knock somebody else for taking a different path, because not everybody's meant for the same path.
Right. And the dues are minimal. So, really, it's really paying off.
Oh yeah. My dues with the union was like $30 a month. Like,
right. Yeah, it's so small, so minuscule. And my nephews, I have some nephews that are in the union too, as well, with my oldest brother, and they all love it.
Yeah, it was like
we're just
less than an hour of overtime pay. Like you're good.
Yeah, we're just a big blue collar family.
No, that's nice. So what other kind of stuff are you do you have going in your metalworking shop? Do you have you got any new plans for 2022 rolling out? You gonna expand or venture into like a different industry?
I do. I've been saving money. So anything that I build or sell or whatever for my Shield Maiden, I don't spend that money. I put it away, and I've been saving up for a CNC machine. So
which like CNC plasma?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get that fast cut. I'm coming.
Okay, there you go. I was gonna say, if not, Swift Cut is another great machine. That's the one we just got at the school, and it's. Okay. I love that machine so far. It's
But have you seen the Fast Cut G8?
I've seen them. I've seen them like all over Instagram. I haven't used one yet.
I haven't used one either, but
I've not used a Fast Cut yet. I want to get one for my garage because there's like so much I could do with it. And my wife's like, where the hell are you going to put it? And I was like, if I got a 4x8 table, I would make some space. Like I'll take all my woodworking stuff and I'll go put it in the storage unit and I can pull that stuff back when I need it. But that's taking up the bulk of my shop right now is like mostly woodworking tools because I had like a fascination with that for a while. And I went out and bought a wood planer and a table saw and a chop saw and like a skill saw and a miter saw and like everything that I needed for woodworking. And, now it's taking up a lot of space. I want to get back into that because like the price of lumber, it's been ridiculous lately. And it's like, I can't justify going out and spending all this money just to build something simple that just for me, like I'm not turning around and I'm not selling it,
Mm-hmm. Right. So our garage is full of wood and metal. It's a big garage. People don't think that when you look at the front of our house, but it's actually a 4-stall garage. It just extends back and it's heated. And so we have wood tools for our wood. We run both businesses out of the garage. So you can, if you see any of my videos or my photos, there's stuff everywhere because we live here too. Mm-hmm. So we got like kayaks and all kinds of stuff out there. But, so once I get the machine ordered, it's going to take up a lot of space because it's the 4x8 machine. You're
going to be able to do so much cool stuff with a CNC plasma cutter.
I know. I'm so excited.
So you're going to do
I have a plasma cutter and I really want to get my hands on that sink, the Hypertherm's new plasma cutter.
That thing is sick.
That thing is sick. I want it so bad. So yeah, once I get my machine, I'll probably upgrade that too, because right now I just have the 45 and then I'll need to upgrade my air tank and all that fun stuff, but some more tools.
Oh yeah, more tools. It's like an addiction. Like the more you start digging into stuff, you're like, oh man, if I had this tool, I could end up and like build this project. And it's kind of like a rabbit hole.
Yeah, for sure. Can't go wrong with new tools. They make you money.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're like buying it or investing in it to make you money, it makes sense because like if you're trying to cut all this stuff out by hand, I mean, it's great that you're capable of doing it. But at the end of the day, like if you can mechanize that, like now your profit margins are going up even higher because it's taking you a fraction of the time. Like if you got to cut out base plates, you draw out one base plate and you can cut 30 of them in about 5 minutes. Whereas, if you had to go like buy the flat stock and cut it and then you got to punch the holes, then you got to drill the holes, and it's like it's a big pain in the ass, but you can expedite that. Consuming. You can expedite that through mechanical means. Like, why not?
Yep, cutting and drilling take the most time, and I just can't wait to not have to do that. Just put it on the machine, program it. I've heard the fast cut's pretty much dummy proof, so we'll see about that.
You're gonna put it to the test. And so I think Jacob Schofield just got a fast cut CNC, and I want to say that that's also what Dabs Wellington's using over at his school.
Dabs, Ray.
Yeah, Ray's got one. Ivan got one.
Yeah. Rhea. The one she makes sissy bars. Rhea the welder.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen her yet.
I don't know if you know her. Yeah, she makes sissy bars. She does some really rad shit with hers too. So
I'll have to check
I'm really excited.
That's something you should get into is building sissy bars, because I would imagine there's a lot of people that like ride bikes in South Dakota.
Yeah, Sturgis.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to like name drop, but I mean that's kind of like a big deal. So I mean you could build a metric shitload of sissy bars and get them chrome plated and just take them down to Sturgis.
Yeah, I could do that, but now I follow somebody that does that, so I can't necessarily. I feel like I have this like thing where I can't copy other people. It has to be like.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, is she going to Sturgis though?
No, she lives in Canada.
Oh, well, there you go. Like, so you could like capitalize the market down here. Just set up a little farmer's market there at Sturgis with Harley. Well, you can't do Harley Davidson logos. They highly frown upon that. But you could build some sissy bars with like the iron crosses and all that stuff, and like take it down to Sturgis.
Yeah.
Or that'd just different miscellaneous bike parts. You could build like the little bells and everything that they put under the bikes, and because it's kind of artistic.
Yeah, that's a lot of business, and I have a lot of family that's up there too. So, yeah, just set up a little shop.
Yeah, that's Chris with Meltdown Metal Art. Same thing. Like she did like a lot of farmers markets all the time. she would do her artwork. She does like more like plasma cut and then blacksmithing type things. So where she'd like heat things up and beat them into little flowers, and like she'd build some really cool stuff and then take them to the farmer's market and kind of like capitalize on that area. So farmer's markets, like everybody scoffs at farmer's market, but like the hipster movement is like, it's here for a while. Like capitalize on all the little hipsters. They like that cool rustic shit.
Well, that's good for us though. Us metal workers.
I seriously considered it because my wife's into this like freaking boba tea, whatever. Like she's got this, she likes boba tea. So we've got like this,
boba tea. Like
it's got like the little starch balls in the bottom of it. It's like tapioca or whatever. So she likes these. So every once in a blue moon, like I'll run to downtown and I'll pick some up. And they've got like a little co-op where there's like 6 businesses inside of this thing. And it's like, you know what? Like I could do podcasting full time and like just build little artsy shit in my garage and sell it here when I'm not doing the podcast. And I could probably make a pretty decent living doing that.
Yeah, there you go. Why don't you?
I don't know, man. There's like a lot of things holding me back. I really like working at the school. I don't know. I just need to split myself in half because there's still so much in this life that I want to get out of it. I just don't have time to do it all. And I'm still trying to figure out how to stretch 26 hours out of a 24-hour day. I haven't quite figured it out just yet, but I'm still working towards that goal.
Schedule your work days, maybe schedule, Monday through Wednesday podcast, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. In the evenings, maybe do like 1 or 2 art things, you know, just make some stuff.
I would definitely want to get into more fabrication in 2022 because 2021 was like, it was a kick in the shorts. Like I just had so much going on and like different trips and, like doing Fab Tech and going out to Houston and going up to, like being part of crew, going out to, where the hell we go? I went to Iowa this year and Wisconsin and, what the hell is the other one? Minnesota. Went out that way and did a couple welding competitions out in down here in Florida, hit up one in Georgia, went up to Ohio. So it's like, I'm constantly traveling, or working at the school. So I still got to, like make time for the family. And it's a fine balance, like trying to find that, work-life balance and stuff like that.
It's hard. Sometimes you just kind of got to, I don't know. I just do it. I know I have younger kids, so it's hard, but,
and like this year I'm stepping up with the podcast too. Cause I'm releasing one episode every Monday, but then I'm doing an additional episode every Tuesday. That's just like strictly welding related tips. So like whether it's for oxy-fuel cutting or plasma arc cutting, stick, MIG, TIG, flux core, whatever, I'm just releasing like kind of short little episodes, and I'm going to try and crank out 52 of those a year because I want to see how far I can actually push the podcast. And then I'm doing the first Wednesday of every month, I'm linking back up with the American Welding Society to do Weld Wednesdays with AWS again. So I'm going to be cranking out a crap load of episodes this year.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that and good luck.
I'm definitely going to need luck. Luck and time. Well, Staci, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can find your work, where you can, where they can reach out to you to do commission pieces or, whatever the case may be. And then go ahead and plug the Hooded Heroes Foundation one more time.
So you can find me mostly on Instagram. It's 605_Shield Maiden. And you can email me at 605shieldmaiden@gmail.com. And the Hooded Heroes Foundation, you can get a hold of us. Any one of the members, the board members, you can reach out to any one of us, or you can go to thehoodedheroes.org, or you can find us at the Hooded Heroes on Instagram. If you just Google it, it'll bring it up, the Hooded Heroes Foundation. So
nice. And if you guys want to donate to that, if you have, like unused or gently used welding gear or anything like that, reach out to them, send it out to them. Gift cards for boots, anything like that, go ahead and reach out to the Hooded Heroes Foundation. They'll get you linked up with where you can send all the items. Well, cool. Staci, it's been an honor having you on the podcast. It was great catching up with you at FabTech and meeting you in person. Thanks for taking the time out of your evening. I know you were kind of in the middle of painting and stuff when we were getting ready to start the episode, so I appreciate you, like taking a break to be able to come on the podcast and share your story.
Yeah, thank you for your patience, and thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Just the Tip Tuesday, where I discuss why resistance in our welding system is a bad thing and how to eliminate it. Make sure to check out the Arc Junkies website, arcjunkies.com, to stream all past and present episodes, as well as pick up Arc Junkies hats, shirts, and hoodies. Stay safe out there, and until next time, make every weld better than your last.